Lost 22 Productions presents The Show, your Major League Baseball therapy session.
Ben Shrewsbury.
I'm not sure what hurt my ears more, that or when you did it.
You know, it's starting to look a lot like a show, Ben. This therapy session of ours. But you see what we're looking at right now? This is lazy. This is like, I don't fucking have any idea what I'm doing. I just want to do a show. And
I'm glad somebody admitted they don't have any idea what they're doing.
Well, I mean, this is like your standard background. I mean, I added the live stream thing up in the corner, but this is bare bones. This is like, I'm fucking lazy. I don't care. All right. This is what we were dealing with before. All right. We kind of had this little slightly less lazy layout because we were just doing therapy sessions. It wasn't anything. But this shit gets views, dude. When we break this into little segments, people start paying attention. So I kind of had to upgrade it. So you ready to see the whole new thing with the logo and whenever
I thought I've already seen this, but yes.
Play along, guy. Come on. Play along. Like play along, please. Here you go. This is it. And Ben, due to the current series going on right now, I give you Byron Buxton. I give you Cal Raleigh. Both home run last night. And I just kind of like O'Neal Cruz right now.
He is one of my least favorite, like, actually good players in baseball because he's only good at one side of the game, and I hate guys who can't play defense.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're looking at two absolute studs on both sides of the ball. Maybe that's why he's like, get away from me. You guys are too good.
You guys play defense, and defense scares me.
He's like,
I can't play defense.
Cal's kind of hitting him in the nuts with his bat, too, so maybe that would give you a good nod. Yeah, this is welcome to the show. Look at the new logo. That's crisp. That's crisp, dude.
What do you think will happen first? Us calling this an actual show that isn't just a therapy session, or O'Neal Cruz learning how to play defense?
I think there's a better chance of us calling this a show, unfortunately. But here's the thing. For those of you watching, it's not that we don't care if you watch. We love it. We actually like your participation because this is therapy. This is Major League Baseball therapy. And, you know, we have our ups and downs. We have our graveyard. We got some new things going on, some new graphics. Obviously, we came up with the logo. Loving it. Ben, there's a lot of things going on in Major League Baseball right now.
Two guys got fired.
Well, yeah. Tell me about one first. Who do you want to start with?
Let's start with Alex Cora, because the day they fire this bastard, and I'd like to emphasize bastard, this guy was like at the center of the Astros cheating scandal. I will never forget that, and I will definitely never forgive anyone involved. They won 17-1. Imagine, look, I understand the Red Sox have not been playing well.
They were, at one point, the worst team in the graveyard. Do you remember?
I do. That was like a 3-day stretch. Yeah.
2 shows ago. It was like 2 shows ago.
Yeah, and it was like 3 days where they were down there that they probably should have been. Look, I understand they got off to a bad start. I get it. And I go back and forth on this. If your manager's just incompetent, I'm fine with you firing him in April. I don't think Alex Cora is a complete lemon of a manager. To find one of those, you need to go to either Central Division and look at Don Kelly or Derek Shelton. Those guys suck. You know, they're terrible. Aaron Boone is terrible. I don't think Alex Cora is going to be out of a job for very long. I think he'll have another job maybe this season with the way guys are getting fired right now. Maybe it'll take till 2028 when we have baseball again after this. I don't know. But Alex Cora getting fired is kind of wild.
They cleaned house, though.
Oh, they fired everybody.
Alex Cora.
And then the van that they rented to like take these guys that they just hired away was from a company called Coaches for Hire LLC. I wish I was kidding.
I had no idea about that. That's crazy.
Jason Varitek quit, by the way, because they offered him a different position in the organization, and he told them to kick sand.
Oh man, that's a Red Sox Hall of Famer right there.
That is a legitimate Hall of Famer that basically just told them to kick rocks. And Alex Cora would tweet that night, happy, with a smiley face emoji.
I mean, look at his face.
Yeah. This guy, nobody has ever been happier to get fired than this guy. It's remarkable.
Who was the other guy who's less happy?
Rob Thompson got fired by the Phillies, and this one really doesn't make any sense because the Red Sox thing, I can kind of understand, right? Despite the fact that I think Alex Cora dragged that clearly mid-level roster to the playoffs last year, and they were competitive with the Yankees in that wild card series. Despite that, he gets fired.
Yeah, I mean, look, dude, they brought back Schwarber. They're just aging out. Is it his fault?
No, and those guys love him. Here's what could happen as a result of this. Bryce Harper could demand a trade, and I don't think they could blame him at this point because Bryce Harper is the reason Rob Thompson was there at all, because Bryce Harper loves this guy, and you just fired your superstar's guy. That generally doesn't work out. Do you know why, to draw a basketball comparison, do you know why Chris Finch has a job right now? Because Anthony Edwards loves him.
There's probably a lot more cases of that than we even realize.
Yes. That is a very big thing across every sports league, and it doesn't matter what sport you're talking about. It happens in Europe with soccer. It happens here certainly with basketball, and even more really with baseball than I think we realize. Because here's the thing, when you get a superstar on the level of Bryce Harper, you're going to do everything to keep that guy happy. Why? Because that's a guy who's going to put asses in seats. And I don't think you're going to disagree with me on that.
No, and you see it with like LeBron James, even to the point where he's like, draft my kid or I'm leaving, like that type of. I don't even know I don't think that's good for the game, but it certainly is a thing. It's a thing. Like,
look, you could say it's not good for the game, but there's really no way to prevent it from happening.
Right. Because
teams will deny it no matter what. If it, quote unquote, looks bad, they'll just deny it. And, we're not hooking them up to a lie detector. I don't really understand why the Phillies fired Rob Thompson. I think Rob Thompson is going to get another job this year. I don't think that's crazy to say. Don Mattingly is taking over in Philadelphia in the interim for the remainder of the season, by the way. Don Mattingly is taking...
Donnie Baseball.
The Red Sox interim guy, I don't think has a end date, but Don Mattingly has been guaranteed through the season. How hilarious will it be if this season just completely craters for them and they have to fire Don Mattingly in June?
Well, yeah, I don't, dude, I really, so many weird things going on there. Do you foresee, who else do you see in the future as potential firings?
Well, I hate to say this because I really like your manager, but if it keeps going the way it's been going, your guy might be in trouble.
He ain't going anywhere. Not mid-season.
Maybe not during the season, but like October 1st.
I mean, if they don't make the playoffs, it's very possible.
Who the hell's the Houston manager right now? That guy's in trouble. That guy should be looking over his shoulder.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
The entire AL West doesn't look great. Can we talk about that?
Well, yeah, but we were going to do that when we get to the graveyard section. But if you want my opinion, everyone in the NL Central is over 500, even the last place team. That's pretty incredible.
That won't last, but
it doesn't matter. It's incredible that it's happening a fifth of the way through the season. And then you have teams that are barely over 500 that are leading divisions, which
yes,
Detroit Tigers, the A's. Yeah, then you have shit like that happening. So, yeah, it's kind of miraculous that everyone in the Central is over 500. But go ahead and state your claim on the AL West. Go ahead. I don't see how they're.
This is more targeted at the entire American League. The entire American League doesn't look very good right now. I mean, you just talked about it. There's just teams that on paper look like they should be good that aren't. Your team.
Well, this is the fucking fact of the matter, Ben. One team in the AL is won 9 of their last 10 games. That's the Yankees. All right. In the last 10, no other team has won more than 6.
Yikes.
No other team in the American League has won more than 6 of their last 10 games, except for the Yankees. Dude.
Meanwhile, I think there's 2 in the NL that have. I think it's the Braves and the Dodgers.
You got the Braves that are 8-2 in their last 10. The Cincinnati Reds are 7-3. And even the Dodgers are 5-5, but the Padres are 7-3. So are the Giants. The Giants are kind of making their way out of.
I told you the Giants would be fine.
Yeah, well, we knew that. They have a good roster and they have a good makeup and they have a good system, but they did not start out hot. They've actually been in the graveyard, which we'll get to in a little bit.
Dude,
yeah, go ahead.
I kind of said it on the first show we did this year that I thought the American League looked like it was in a little bit of a bad spot. I didn't think it would ever be, we're getting close to May, and most of the teams in the American League are struggling to stay above 500. But that's where we are. I mean, my crappy team, hovered around 500 for most of the month. Unbelievably. They're, falling off now as everybody saw coming, In other news, the sky is blue and grass is green. Yeah, we kind of figured that was going to happen. But look, the worst managers in this entire league are all in the American League, so we shouldn't be surprised that this is happening. One thing I didn't see coming is the Red Sox being this putrid and having to fire Alex Cora. That I still don't fully get why they did that. I really don't get. I understand why the Phillies fired Rob Thompson to a certain degree because they are way underperforming. I get it to a certain degree, but nothing really makes sense right now, and it's because it's April. And we know that. But
well, dude, look at the Red Sox. They did this to themselves. Okay, they let Bregman walk.
Yes.
They let him walk. What are you doing? You're in one of the most competitive. You need that player on your team. And then Rafi Devers.
Granted, that move hasn't exactly worked for the Giants.
It doesn't matter. He was mashing for them. And the Giants, like I said, they're all starting slow. So, I mean, as he goes, they may go. But I don't understand. You let 2 epic epic players leave your building, and then you're like, oh, why are we so bad? Oh, let's fire our manager. And he's probably
Instead
like,
of Craig
you know what?
Breslow.
If you're gonna deal, he's like, if you're gonna put this roster on me, just fucking fire me, because I don't want. That's why he's happy. He's like, I don't want to be blamed for the mess that you guys caused.
I want to know how Craig Breslow still has a job.
I couldn't tell you, Ben. I could not.
Is it because John Henry doesn't care? That's about the only thing I can surmise.
Let's talk about before we get to the graveyard. Let's talk about something cool that happened. Do you remember when you were 20 years? Do you remember when you were 19 years old?
I do.
Could you find your ass from a hole in the ground? Because I
Probably not.
I sure couldn't. You have this fucking guy. This fucking prick.
On
his 20th birthday.
Who I already can't stand. Yeah, continue.
I don't know why. You're ridiculous. This is the dumbest take you've ever had. And I'm going to say that every time you have a take, probably. just for the show. Just for therapy's sake. What does he hate about this guy?
His ego. I don't like players with massive egos.
I haven't even seen an interview of him.
You don't want to.
I'm gonna search it out, and I'm gonna find it, and I'm gonna play him on here. This guy is 20. We just both said we didn't know our asses from the hole in the ground. So if he's a little cocky, can't you just write that off to being young and dumb?
No.
You can't?
No, because when you're in Major League Baseball, you need to be some level of professional. That's the bare minimum.
No, but that's okay. We're not talking about the CEO of a company. We're talking about a kid that hits a ball with a bat. How sophisticated do you expect this person to be at 20 years old? Is my point.
I mean, I had the same criticism.
He's allowed to be dumb, in my opinion. He's allowed to be a little bit dumb.
I had the same criticism of Bryce Harper, to be fair. So,
this gentleman hit his first home run. Of course, this is Connor Griffin, the future star of the Pittsburgh Pirates, who they signed to a 9-year, what was that, $140 million contract? Which is kind of a steal if he turns out, right? Well, on his 20th birthday, yes, he was in the major leagues full-time before his 20th birthday, which is very rare. I mean, Ken Griffey did it. You could probably name a couple of others along the way that did it and were successful. The tail of the tape is out on this kid. The tail of the tape is out on this kid still, but he hit his first major league home run on his 20th birthday. And I just think that's pretty cool. Now we're still waiting for the arrival of Colt Emerson, and
who got paid like 3 days later.
Yeah, and even though Seattle they paid him first. We paid him first because otherwise we would have had to pay more, I think. We jumped out ahead of it so that we could set the market and that his market wasn't going to be determined by another shortstop superstar. So, yeah, that I'm certain of. Superstar, right. Again, we don't know. These kids have never they signed their contracts before they ever played a major league game.
I just want to make it abundantly clear, both of these guys could suck.
It's true. And they could suck for 8 and 9 years, which is what their contracts are for.
Like, we could be looking at both of these contracts as just like all-time bad ideas.
But think about this, though, Ben. What do you pay for a superstar player in this league per year? Let's take Juan Soto, just for an example. What does he make? $60 million a year?
Yes.
These kids are making under 20. And in 8 and 9 years from now, when those contracts are in their later years, that's going to be like chump change. So
if they work out, yes.
If they work out. But like I'm saying, when you think about it as chump change, and yes, $17 million is never going to be true chump change. But in a world where a superstar player is costing 60 and will probably be 80 by the time these contracts are up, you're getting yourself a pretty good deal if the guy comes out and plays even average baseball.
Damon, do you want to know the sad thing? There's only one player in the entirety of the Twins organization that I think the Twins should do this for, and they never will.
Is he in the bigs right now, or is he coming up through the pipe?
He should be in the major leagues. He's just their service time manipulating him.
Who is it?
Walker Jenkins. He's the only guy in the entire organization, other than maybe Kalen Culpepper, who I would be okay with them giving them any sort of deal like this. But the market's already been set on these guys, and the poll ads are not paying these prices. They're just not. They refuse to pay Joe Ryan. So, and Joe Ryan would probably right now get about $25 to $30 million a year minimum. That'd be about the minimum he'd take.
Yeah, and I would take that. I would trade Castillo out the door tomorrow, and his contract is up at the end of this year. Thank God.
I don't think the Twins would take Castillo right now. I think they're going to want more than that.
I don't even talking about a trade. I'm saying give his money that will not be there given to him next year to that guy. I would gladly make that trade next season.
I mean, Ryan's arbitration this offseason and then free agent next. But look, the only reason the Twins are probably going to trade Joe Ryan is because his arbitration number is going to be potentially historic in terms of how much he could get out of that.
Well, let me ask you this. At some point, they have to acknowledge they're going to do a rebuild. Are they doing that now?
Yes.
And they've acknowledged that we're in the middle of a rebuild? So that almost certainly guarantees that no matter where you guys are at the deadline, Joe Ryan is going somewhere.
And Byron Buxton would if
he'd allow it. If he'd allow it. Which he already claimed that he said, I will never leave this city.
He said it at the All-Star game last year, very publicly.
Damian Lillard said it to Portland for 10 years before he went to Milwaukee. And then
came back with his tail tucked between his legs.
Exactly. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. I never should have left. And that's true. Griffey never should have left for Cincinnati. The pasture that was greener was red. And it was his blood and his own injury. He never was the same player after he left.
I just, look, do I think Buxton could leave? Sure, if the Twins get ultra cheap and decide they don't want to extend his contract in a couple of years. But look, with Buxton's injury history, I'm not sure how much leverage he's going to have in any free agent negotiation. That's the problem.
Well, I'll tell you, if he makes it to the deadline without missing any significant time, that's good enough for most teams. They're going to be like, fine, he's good this year. We just want him from here until here. If we get him beyond then, great. But that's what they're going to be looking for.
Imagine, because this is the only team I think he'd waive it for because he's from the area, Atlanta. Imagine that Atlanta team already with Byron Buxton. That Atlanta team with Byron Buxton would be
World Series contender. We're already a World Series contender.
They're not beating the Dodgers. I'm sorry, they're not.
That's why I said contender. Remember, your Minnesota Twins beat my Mariners yesterday 11-4.
A game that neither one of us watched most of.
I did watch most of it, but I dozed off in the middle innings after we gave up 7 runs. I'm like, oh, fuck this.
Who pitched yesterday? I saw none of this game. Who pitched yesterday?
Castillo.
Yeah, well, who pitched for my crappy team?
I don't know. Who cares? Some new kid.
Oh, it was Connor Prelip. How the hell did you guys not put 18 runs on that bum?
Because we suck, Ben. Dude, this is the reason I need this. And you know what? Guys, I don't normally talk about this on here, but it does have the show logo on it, so maybe I should be more forthwith with it. There's a character I created called the Mad Mariner who makes a video after every game, and it's been getting some decent views, like sometimes 3,000, 4, 7. Yesterday I put in 0 effort because I was just so frustrated, and I was just like, yeah, Castillo sucks, we suck, we got thumped by a team that sucks, the weather sucked, fuck this shit. And basically I got 14,000 views on it.
Bro, we just got swept by the Rays and put 11 on you guys. I'm not sure you guys are good.
I'm not. I don't think we're good. Oh, but I do want to talk about something that happened. I don't know if you saw this. because I want to get your opinion. And those of you that are watching, please feel free to comment at any time. We will engage with whatever conversation you want, because this is your therapy too. But Logan Gilbert was on the mound right after our last week's show, and he threw a pitch. It was hit back to him, and this is Logan Gilbert. Like, look at the intensity. I love this guy. All right, his nickname is Walter when he's doing well, but he's not been Walter all season. He's just been Logan Gilbert still. We've yet to see Walter. This is your opening day starter. He throws a pitch, Ben. It gets hit back at him. He doesn't catch it. He moves slightly to the side, and the ball goes inside of his jersey.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I laughed.
Look at this.
I laughed for 5 minutes straight watching that clip. I saw it on a short, you know, the stupid YouTube shorts that don't work half the time. Yeah, I saw that. And I just cackled. I just let it keep playing because I thought it was so funny.
Let me ask you a question. Ball doesn't touch the ground. Gets consumed by his... They give the guy a base hit.
Because it's not your glove. That's the rules of the game.
What if you catch a ball over the wall with your hat?
That does not count.
It's a home run? If you bring the ball back with your hat?
I don't know what the rule on that would be. I don't think that's ever happened.
There are some... I mean, baseball's been around a long time. Look at this. He goes into his jersey. He pulls it out. And the guy's safe at first. Never hits the ground. I don't understand this at all. What if it hits you in the arm and you catch it right here? I'm gonna debunk your theory right now. If you catch a ball barehanded, it counts as a catch.
I think you have to catch it in your hands. I think that's the rule. I think it has to be in your hands.
Okay, I'm going to debunk that. I've seen Julio Rodriguez plunging forward and sliding, and the ball lands in his lap. Out.
Well, look.
This goes before you say anything. I'm not trying to like gotcha, but remember when we talked about the home run balls that when the player catches it and they fall over the fence when they never had 2 feet in bounds with the ball?
That's been happening for 150 years.
Know, but this is the same kind of like, what are we doing, baseball? What are we doing here?
They'll never look. Baseball has so many things that we can dislike about it, but the one thing that is beautiful about it is we don't all have to agree baseball is wonderful.
All right, I got another one for you, Ben. And I'm just guys, if you're watching, throw something at us, because here's another one. If a ball bounces in front of you and over the wall, it's a ground rule double.
Yes. If
it bounces off Jose Canseco's head and over the wall, it's a home run.
Never hit the ground.
Ground rule double.
It never hit the ground.
Yeah, but this is the inconsistency that I'm talking about. Because if you fly up over the wall and your feet never touch the ground, you catch a ball in midair while it's over the wall, and your momentum takes you over the wall while you never have feet in bounds, you can just get up and come back over the fence, and that's an out.
Uh-huh.
And then a ball goes into a guy's shirt, never touches the ground, it's a base hit. But a guy slides in the outfield and the ball lands in his lap, or a guy barehands a catch, it's an out. Like, what the hell? That just makes no sense to me.
I don't think it's supposed to, because I don't think baseballs are supposed to go in dudes' shirts.
I've never seen that before in my life, by the way. If you guys are just tuning in, we're talking about Logan Gilbert. He threw a pitch and the ball got hit back and it went into his shirt.
This happened one other time recently.
They gave the guy a base hit.
Well, not recently. 6 or 7 years ago, I want to say it was. I think it was 2018 or 2019. This happened to somebody on the Reds. I can't remember who it was. Not going to look it up. Maybe it was Nick Lodolo. That sounds about right. No, he's too young. I can't remember who it was. Anyway, yeah, that same thing happened, and they made the same call. So I guess at least they were consistent about it.
I mean, consistency is key, but like, how do you? If a manager comes out, he's like, "Dude, how's that a base hit?" What do you? I mean, you're like, "Well, I'm just calling it because I saw it called that way before. I want to be consistent." I'm fucking flipping my hat. I'm kicking dirt. I'm throwing bases. I'm getting.
You're getting ejected,
game, man. I'm getting kicked out of the game, Ben.
I mean, Damon, I'm going to be honest. If the Mad Mariner gimmick is anything to go by, I think you would break a record for how many games you would get ejected from if you were a manager.
Yeah, I guarantee it. Especially after this bullshit.
Yeah, you would break a record. Also, that wasn't bullshit. That was like just something that happens in baseball.
Dude, the Mariners are setting a record for robbed home. I think they've been robbed 6 times from home runs. So the Mariners should actually have 6 more. And it was 3 by this ass. You know what this graphic is called in my lineup card, Ben? It just says asshole.
Joe Adele is a very good baseball player, and if he was on your team, you'd probably love him.
It's Joe Adele, but he's an asshole. And you know, there's something else.
Hi, Billy.
We need to get to the graveyard, Ben. Are you ready for the new graveyard?
Yes.
All right, there's a lot of you watching. Check this out.
We should have a sound effect warning because I had you turned up way too loud.
Welcome to the graveyard, Ben. This is last week. The Royals were the worst team in baseball, and we play them after you, so I hope that they're still trucking along here. But do you have a chance to look at who might be the worst team in baseball now?
I mean, there's a very good chance it's the Phillies.
There is a very good chance. You
might also be the White Sox.
Do you want me to just
show me?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the new graveyard.
Oh, look. Can I talk about the Mets? I have a lot to say about the Mets.
And I was hoping that you would, Ben. Go ahead. Tell me about the
Jesus Christ.
Let's call them Metropolitans while they're this bad.
The New York Metropolitans, the most incompetent sports franchise maybe in the history of ever, other than the Washington Commanders, who blow my mind with their incompetence, truly. I think they blow their own mind. In the same way Robert Kraft got special... got something blown. If you know, you know. Wait, I'm not allowed to criticize the NFL or its owners on this show. I'm sorry.
Of course you are. Actually, you know what? I was watching a commercial last night, and I was like, this commercial was designed to kill Ben Shrewsbury. To unalive you. It's Roger Goodell.
Oh, good Lord.
Going up to the podium and going, with the 61st pick of the draft, the Super Bowl selects ESPN. I was like, oh my God. Ben Shrewsbury is unaliving himself somewhere.
Were you thinking to yourself, are we even going to have a show tomorrow? Holy shit.
I was like, I hope Ben doesn't see this because he will not make it through the day.
Will there be a show tomorrow? I think you probably had to ask yourself, are we doing a show?
I instantly was like, oh God.
Are we doing a show tomorrow?
I was like, Ben, do not turn on ESPN for any reason.
Dude, okay.
Go ahead.
Look,
you were saying about the Mets.
The Mets, who have spent just an enormous amount of money. I mean, Steve Cohen has blown his entire load on this payroll. Just an unbelievable amount of money when you factor in the luxury tax. Oh, sorry, the competitive balance tax. I'm sorry, Robbie M. I'll say it right next time.
That's right.
Rob, I hope you get fired, you prick. I hope Rob Manfred sees that. They're just paying an enormous amount of money to lose. And by the way, 2 teams just fired their manager, and Oscar Mendoza still has a job. So, did you watch any of the Twins Mets series, or do you like yourself too much?
No comment. No comment.
Okay, this is the worst 3 games of baseball I've ever seen in my life.
The New York Mets, after 30 games, do not have 10 wins. They're in fact, Ben, their winning percentage is 32%.
I told you before the season that this team was going to be bad, and you laughed at me.
I think anyone would have. Like what would make you think that they weren't going to be mashing the ball with that roster?
The roster doesn't make any sense.
Dude, here's the thing. You got players galore.
Hold on.
They have scored less runs than every team in Major League Baseball. There's no way that you could have predicted that would be true.
I would like to do an exercise with you.
You can tell me that their pitching staff wasn't up to par and they were going to lose games because of that, but they've literally scored less runs than any team in Major League Baseball.
We're going to do an exercise right now.
All right.
And I'm going to take their pitching out of it because we know that's bad. We knew that was bad before the season. And I'm just gonna start naming position players, and I want you to think about them not just offensively but also defensively. Okay?
Fine.
And I just want you to say yes or no. Yes if they're a liability, no if they're not.
Okay.
Francisco Alvarez.
Yes.
Luis Torrens.
Yes. I know that from him on my team.
Bo Bichette.
Oh, gee, let me think. Yeah.
Injury-prone liability.
Dude, we got to talk about Bo Bichette's contract after this. But go ahead.
Ronnie Mauricio.
Not the best, Ben. Not the best.
Somehow, their best defensive player, and the only one who might not be a liability, Marcus Semien. He's their best defensive player right now.
I would say that's true. And I'd say Polanco is serviceable at first base.
Polanco's hurt.
Is he? Well,
he's not on the active roster.
Well, there you go. You got Polanco hurt and Soto hurt.
Looks like Soto might be back.
Oh, God.
Where is Jorge Polanco? He's not listed on this roster at all. Do they have him listed as an outfielder? That'd be bizarre.
Because he was supposed to be their replacement.
I'm on like the official Mets roster page, and he's just not here. What a grave oversight. Anyway, Jorge Polanco, I think he's a liability.
He's still dealing with, not at first base. I mean, he can...
Anywhere else.
He can manage first base.
Brett Beatty, who they've moved to the field.
I like him, though. If I could take one player from their team, that's who I would take.
Carson Bench, who had a great opening day and has looked since.
Polanco's still dealing with some injuries. He's got some injuries. So
no surprise.
He's starting to work out again, but he's doing some outside running and hitting off the tee. So
how do you feel about Carson Bench? I actually like Carson Bench.
Yeah, I mean, if you sit down and examine every major league roster, you're gonna find somebody that you're like, yeah.
Oh, back to the liability game.
I can vibe with these people.
Yes or no liability? MJ Melendez.
Yeah, probably not the best.
Luis Robert.
I don't know anything about him.
Former White Sox.
That tells me everything I need.
Roberto Robert. I think he's the only one here that I wouldn't say is a liability. Austin Slater, absolute menace of liability.
The White Sox, though, they resurrected out of the graveyard this week
Temporarily.
and the Astros sit firmly in their place.
Juan Soto's not an offensive liability, but he's definitely a defensive and injury liability.
Yeah, dude. I think about injuries and how important they are to the game. Going back to Seattle, we're waiting on the emergence of Colt Emerson, and our third baseman gets injured. Brendan Donovan, who we got from St. Louis, which sadly we just played a 3-game series against St. Louis, and he did not get to participate in that absolute sweep that we had. And that sucks for him because that's always fun when you get to go home to your team that traded you away and bitch slap them.
I think he requested that trade, to be fair.
Well, if you recall, the Mariners were looking for a infielder, and they made it aware. They made everyone in the league aware that they were willing to go into their AAA farm system.
That is just a cavern of talent
to get it done. And right. Anybody that has a middle infielder is like, oh, who do we got? And what can we get? And the Arizona Diamondbacks were flirting with trading Marte to the Mariners, and they wanted Cole Young. And the Mariners said, nope. I don't always give praise to the people that deserve it, but Jerry DiPoto, I will keep going to the tilt for him, because guess who is the best defender in all of Major League Baseball right now, statistically? Cole Young.
Cole Young.
It's Cole Young. I think he's like plus 8 runs saved already. That's crazy, dude. That's insanity.
He's also been, like, for as bad as you guys have looked at points, he's also been like the beacon of hope this whole time.
Right. Like, it's like, hey, if we could all just play like as good as Cole's playing right now.
Hey, we look horrible, but at least we have Cole Young. So, Damon, who that you've watched in the last week made you like baseball the least?
The A's. Here, dude, if we win last night, we're in first place.
Yes.
We're only a half game out despite being this terrible. I mean, which is what you're speaking on the AL West, but I mean, it doesn't really look that much different to me than the Central, if I'm being honest.
No, both divisions are terrible, but here's the thing. We knew the Central was bad. We knew that coming in.
Yeah, we didn't know the Royals were going to be this bad, though. Like,
I thought they had a chance to win the division. How wrong was I?
We both said we thought they were going to win the division. We thought Detroit was going to falter late, and
they still might. Cleveland is up their ass.
Yeah, at this point, if I had to make a call, I would say Cleveland will win it. But again, we're way early, and we're 1/5 of the way through the season. It's hard to really tell. Because
here's the thing. When you have Jose Ramirez on your team, I'm just kind of going to believe that you'll figure it out eventually. Like, that's just the way it goes. Look, if you have J-Ram, like, you can kind of just figure it out at a certain point. It's like we used to say about, your team when you guys had Griffey. Oh, they have Griffey. They'll just kind of figure the rest out later. Or, my team when we had Joe Mauer for a decade, for the first 10 years he was here. Oh, they have Joe Mauer? They'll figure it out.
It never, you mentioned Griffey era. It never felt sorted out to me as a fan living through it. It was just like, Oh, another year we missed the playoffs. How did that happen when we have A-Rod, Griffey, Edgar Martinez, Tino Martinez, Randy John? Like, how are we not making the playoffs? Like, how in the F are we not making the playoffs every year? Like,
I'm pretty sure both of our teams are cursed, by the way.
well, let me ask you this. The Mariners do routinely, annually travel more than any other team, just based on proximity.
Yes.
Do you think that has anything to do with anything, or is that just a nothing burger?
During the regular season, I think there's something to that. Playoffs, I think it gets a little iffy, other than if you want to make the fatigue argument.
See, that I would argue the opposite is true. I would say when you've already played 162 games and having to go from Seattle to Toronto like 3 times in a week, that sucks.
Look, I'm not sure. Okay, first of all, I'm not sure more than one team from your division's making the playoffs, because nobody in that division looks like they have a brain cell right now. The Angels, who were fun for like a week, have just the wheels have fallen off already. Your team can't get their head out of their ass. The A's are in first, and the Astros
half a game.
And the Astros, well, I don't know what the hell's going on there, but I think those guys hate each other.
Well, they've got so many injuries, and their pitching staff is devastated by injuries. And I mean, nothing makes me happier, to be honest, but I don't like to see guys hurt, but I do like to see that organization fail.
Damon, I've got a winner for your favorite segment of the week this week. Dipshit of the week.
Is it Tampa Bay?
No, it's Craig Breslow, GM of the Boston Red Sox.
I don't have anything for that, Ben.
Well, just keep the graveyard on the screen. The Red Sox logo's there.
We can do that.
Well, that's not poor Craigie. Craig Breslow, you fucking moron. You just blamed your horrid roster construction on Alex Cora, you fuck.
I hope that the AI generates that into a clip. Clip that, AI. Because we need...
It's not going to listen to you.
Yeah, it will. Actually, the function is built into here. If I say clip that, it will clip... It will give us that. Crazy.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and if my day wasn't ruined before this show started, it would be ruined now.
Well, here you go.
Oh, now my day is really ruined. Hey, look, it could be worse. At least we're not New York Jets fans.
Yeah, but this is what you got to remember about Jets fans is typically
they're delusional.
They're also Mets fans.
True.
Like, if you think of King of Queens, I mean that's their teams. Anybody in Queens, that's their teams. Now, I don't know how this happened, but you know Jails, right?
Yeah.
He's a Jets fan. His brother's a Giants fan. And then he's a Mariners fan. I know, the look on your face says everything, but here's the deal.
Brother needs to go to therapy or something.
When you're born in Iowa, you can pick whatever you want.
Okay, I've met a lot of people from Iowa, though. And do you want to know who most of them are actually fans of? And I find this so odd.
What, are you talking baseball?
Baseball specifically, but also football.
They're Cubs fans.
Well, the majority, yeah, but more northern Iowa, I'm talking.
Twins?
The Brewers.
Oh yeah, that makes sense too.
But then they're not Packers fans. No. Most of them are Patriots fans, and I think that's so fucking bizarre.
Yeah, try and figure that one out.
And like I've met more than one person who's a Brewers and a Patriots fan, and I'm like, what?
Ben, I got a trivia question. Do you know who the all-time home runs leader is for the Milwaukee Brewers?
Ryan Braun?
Yes. All time. That's weird to me.
I mean, it was either him or Corey Hart, right? Or Prince. It was one of those three guys.
Well,
people forget about Corey Hart, man. That guy could match a baseball. Didn't he play for the Mariners for like a year? He was terrible.
I mean, this might be before your time, but remember Robin Yount, Paul Molitor, Hank Aaron, all played, and Christian Yelich, all played for the Brewers.
I mean, let's not act like Brewers Yelich was ever the same post MVP year.
I mean, that's not really the name that I would focus on. Robin Yount or Paul Molitor or Hank Aaron.
Molitor was never a power guy, though.
No, you're right. Paul Molitor was a hits machine. Not really, but the longevity. I mean, Ryan Braun played. It didn't seem like he played there long enough to get.
He also had 3 steroid scandals in the space of 18 months.
You got it right. So, congratulations.
Hey, do you know who hit his 600th home run while he played for the Twins?
No.
I'll give you a hint. He absolutely destroyed your team anytime you played him.
Oh, Paul Konerko.
No.
Hold on.
The other guy. One. The other guy who played for the White Sox.
What's his name?
Hall of Famer.
Jim Thome.
Yes.
Fuck him. Dude, I hate that guy.
He liked hitting you guys, though. He loved playing in Seattle.
How did you... Like, that's been a thing that we've talked about in my family, like how much we fucking hate Jim Thome. He crushed us with the Indians. He crushed us with the Whites. Like, no matter what, he just crushed us. And you know who else does that? Mike Trout. Yeah,
you know who else crushed you after he left? Adrian Beltre. That guy killed you.
Yeah, he killed us before and after. Unless he was playing against Felix. Felix had his number, and they used to laugh. He used to laugh at him every time he struck him out.
Do you know what hilarious? Do you know a hilarious thing? And now we're getting into weird old baseball stuff, like mid 2010s and late 2000s. Robinson Cano was like a Mariners murderer forever, and then he became a Mariner.
And then he murdered us from the inside.
And that, I swear, that was a Yankee psyop. That had to be a fucking inside job. Because
what's funny.
What the fuck?
Yeah, go ahead and talk about that for a moment.
Okay, so the Mariners give Cano this stupid deal. Damon probably remembers it better than I do. But even as a teenager at the time that they gave him this deal, I'm thinking, what the fuck are they doing? They're signing a Yankee. Well, this guy's going to burn the clubhouse down.
This is the thing, okay? In like 98 or 99, Alex Rodriguez said, I'm a free agent. You know, I gave you 5 great years. 5 great years. Let's be honest. He was on an absolute Hall of Fame trajectory. He was outplaying Griffey a lot of the time at that point. And they both decided to part ways within a year of each other. And Seattle, after 1999, we got Ichiro in 2001. That kind of like probably wouldn't have happened if both of those guys hadn't departed. But then we went on to win 116 games. And I remember they were asking Alex Rodriguez, he's like, geez, dude, if they got rid of Edgar, they'd probably go undefeated. Just talking about how you lost Randy Johnson, you lost Alex Rodriguez, and you lost Griffey. But here's the thing. Alex Rodriguez went to Texas, and I'll never forget it. 10 years, $242 million. And that seemed like, oh my God, unbelievable money at the time. This is what I'm talking about, Ben. In 10 years from now, these contracts that Connor Griffin and Colt Emerson signed, they're going to be pennies on the dollar.
There's going to be a salary cap, but yeah.
Here's the deal. We then waited 2 years. Ichiro was obviously a phenom from the jump. And then we're like, okay, Brett Boone isn't going to sustain this. Like, he's not, David Bell is not going to sustain this team. We brought in John Olerud for a little bit. He was great. All these guys at the tail end. And then you get Robinson Cano in the middle of his prime. Like, seriously, middle of his prime. And you know his agent was, Ben?
Boras.
No. His agent was Jay-Z, Sean Carter, from Rock Nation Sports. He's the one that brought Robinson Cano to Seattle for a 10-year, $240 million, just $2 million shy of the deal that we didn't offer Alex Rodriguez. Oh my God. If history...
Granted, it was like 12 years later.
Well, it was 4 years later. It was 99 versus 2003. So...
You guys got Cano in like 2012. What are you talking about?
I'm sorry, 2013. You're right. My bad. It was many years later. But it's still like, dude, why didn't you pay? He was a known commodity at that point. Like, he was literally the biggest free agent probably in the history of the game at that point. Because Griffey never made the free agency, remember? He got traded. He requested a trade to his home.
Also,
he did it.
I'd like to point out, Alex Rodriguez on the Mariners was better than anything Robinson Cano had ever done in his life, or would do. Robinson Cano is one of my least favorite baseball players of all time.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. and I'll tell you why I'm not a fan. He brought the trash, the garbage, into Seattle. Seattle had never been a team that was ever associated with performance-enhancing substances until Robinson Cano.
Oh, but you love PEDs. You were trying to make a case to me a couple of weeks ago about Barry being in the Hall of Fame. Barry, I do steroids bonds.
Listen, that's a different subject. I don't like it, Ben. I don't condone it. But I also realize, like, it's not... God, how do I say this without looking like a jackwad? I don't think there is a way to say it. Whatever you did on the field, you still did. And he did more of it than anybody. And I'll be honest with you, before he cheated, he was already a Hall of Famer. Like, what he had done already was already worthy of the Hall of Fame.
Okay. Do you know what I cannot stand, though?
Cheaters.
Well, yes. I would have anyone who tests positive for PEDs even once banned for life. I just, zero tolerance. Just, you fuck up, you're gone. And you can go through the list of guys who have tested positive only once that would be banned for life. Fernando Tatis has tested positive twice. Fernando Tatis, get out of baseball. For the love of God. The fact that we're only suspending these guys for 80 games for testing positive, for cheating, for gaming the system, for not following the rules constituted henceforth, for which every player has to follow and live by. The fact that they're only getting suspended a measly 80 fucking games is fucking pathetic.
Cut that.
Suspend these guys. Either suspend them for 2 years, and I mean 2 years. Whatever 2 years worth of games is, suspend them. And they're not playoff eligible for the 2 years following their suspension. So you can have them on your roster. They can play the entire regular season, but they are off the playoff roster, ineligible. or ban them for life.
What if you did this? Because what's the point of playing the game? Winning the title. So what if you did this? Say, if you're caught one time, you're going to get suspended for a season. So all of that could get out of your system. If you get caught a second time, you will never play in the playoffs ever again.
I like that. I mean, a lot of guys would just retire, but I like that.
But that forces them out. I mean, if they're going to cheat, it forces them out. But who's going to risk that? Like, they're going to be like, dude, well, that's the whole reason I'm doing this, is so we can extend, our play. But if you tell them, hey, your team might make the playoffs, but you ain't going to be part of it.
And it doesn't matter if you sign for 17 different teams.
Right.
By the way, that's going to make them a lot less attractive to any potential team who could sign them if they have that.
Who would? Hey, we need you for the regular season to get to the playoffs, and then once you're there, you disappear. No one's going to want that player. There will be people, the Dodgers would take him, I'm sure.
Dodgers would put him on the bench. So, can I do my weekly I hate the fucking Dodgers gimmick? Because I do hate this fucking team.
Go for it.
That logo makes me sick.
I wish I could move it over your face. And dance it all over your face.
There'd just be puke all over it.
Go ahead.
Look, I understand that they have infinite fucking money and that they insist on making sure everybody knows about it. But this team isn't even fun to watch. You'd think with all the guys they have on their team that they'd at least have the fucking consistency to be fun to watch. They don't even have the brains to do that.
I wouldn't know. You know why? I don't.
I've watched two Dodger games, excuse me, because I watched one on opening day. I've watched two Dodger games this year.
I only watch the Dodgers if they're playing Seattle. Otherwise, I couldn't care less.
I'm not sure if they make the World Series. I'm not even sure I'm going to watch it because I already know what's going to happen. And part of me just won't care. The only reason I watched any of that World Series last year was because it got really good after like 2 or 3 games. And that's the only reason I started watching it, is because wow, the Blue Jays might actually do something here.
Well, it's a big week, Ben. I mean, it doesn't really seem like it because we're only a fifth of the way through the season, but I feel like a lot of stuff happened. We got to most of it. We lost 2 managers. We lost the ball in Logan's shirt. We got the first home run from the 20-year-old megastar.
And O'Neal, and we reminded ourselves that O'Neal Cruz still can't play defense.
And,
and we solved the steroid problem.
Let me ask you, we did. We solved it. We agreed on something. Like, that wasn't even a difficult conversation. We just were like, yeah, that's what should happen.
And by the way, if you get a third strike, if somehow you test positive a third time,
get out of there.
Goodbye. And by the way, I would have added to that second positive test. You will not be allowed to be a coach at any point in after your playing career.
Ooh. Do I like that? Yeah, I kind of like that.
Because do you know what those guys could do? They could encourage the guys they're coaching to.
It's true.
Take a needle to the butt.
Folks, if you are fans of Major League Baseball and you tuned in to watch this show, hopefully it provided you some therapy. You didn't comment, so I assume that you're just huddled in a corner in the fetal position.
Damon, maybe Let's not insult the audience, David. Let's not do that.
Just listening. Well, who do you think Dodgers fans are watching this? After all the shit we spew, they ain't watching this.
Damon, I'm not sure Dodger fans are real.
They're like, what? They're like, why would I watch this stupid show when my team is winning? Like, I don't need to watch.
First of all, nobody that's a fan of a team that's good is watching this because they don't need therapy. They have happiness and sanity that we will never truly grasp.
I do appreciate the people that are watching, though. That thank you. I'm sorry that I'm not sorry. What's the word? I wish I had better outlook on things, but right now, my team's behind the Oakland Athletics.
Speaking of bad outlooks, Damon, should we talk about Shrewsworthy? That was
going to be Friday? Are we going Friday?
I have a concert on Friday, so probably Thursday.
Thursday. The first episode of Shrewsworthy on.
We're going to talk about ballrooms.
I like these pants that I'm wearing because I have plenty of ballroom.
Yeah, that's not the kind of ballroom we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Tiny Mike.
Okay.
We're going to talk about really creepy people.
Think about this, Ben. Think about the word assassination. Ass-I-nation.
Oh, can I? Am I allowed to? I'm really about to say something that's going to get me in trouble.
No, you're not going to get in trouble. Say it.
I'm going to say something that's definitely going to get us in trouble, but I don't care. Look, in case, first of all, I want to state, both me and Damon are very happy and we like our lives. If something is to happen to us, we did not do it to ourselves. All right? Clip that. Second of all, that whole thing was a work.
What?
That whole thing was a stunt so he can get his ballroom. It had to have been. You're not arguing with me.
No. Dude, why did they move J.D. Vance first? How is you've got a guy that's been close to assassinated twice. By the way, can we talk about the competence of these assassins, please? Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a future assassin,
maybe learn how to aim.
If you're a future assassin of a president, like, get your shit together. Like, figure it out. Like, practice. Practice makes perfect. That's all I'm saying. I'm not advocating for assassination. I'm just saying if there's a future assassin listening to this program, just be better.
Oh, and then today, fucking what's his nuts comes out and says that they're gonna put $300 to $400 million of taxpayer dollars into building the ballroom.
Well, here's the deal. It's already been shut down by the Supreme Court because they say that Congress has to pass it before you can build it. That's the big contention right now. This whole assassination attempt, dude, it's so grifting because like an hour later, he's like, see, if I would have had my bunker, this would never have happened. And it's like, dude, you're like the kid who puts his little brother in front of the door to your parents' bedroom while they're wrapping your Christmas presents, is standing behind your brother and then pushing the door open as if your parents aren't going to see that you're standing directly behind your brother and just using him as a scapegoat. Like,
and your brother's shorter than you. And your brother's shorter than you.
This is that. And I did that when I was a kid. That's why I used that reference. But I will say this. My brother, Dane Michael, when he was 2.5 years old, he unwrapped every present under the Christmas tree. We all came downstairs and every present had been unwrapped. That's hilarious. And he did that. And he didn't even know, like, when you're 2.5, what do you even know about it? At that point, you're just like, I like ripping paper.
Rip and tear, that's all you know.
I just want to rip paper.
Dude, look, I'm not trying to turn this into a Shrewsworthy segment, but like...
Fine. It's therapy. Let's do it.
But like... This country's so fucked. We're screwed.
Yeah. Are you gonna have a guest on Thursday?
No.
Or is it just gonna be you?
I was trying to get a guest for Thursday, but no.
No, that's fine. I can't wait to just hear you go off.
It's probably going to be a shorter episode. So the way Shrewsworthy is going to work now, and I told Damon a little bit of this, when we have a guest, the show's probably going to be pretty close to an hour, if not a little more. When we don't have a guest and it's just me, it's probably going to be closer to 30 to 45 minutes. Like, that's just... Because I don't think anybody wants to listen to one person talk for an hour and a half.
As we come in on an hour and 11 minutes.
And there's two people here, Damon.
That's right.
We're having a conversation.
Yeah.
We're talking about Cal Raleigh having a big dumper. And
I included it in here.
Yes.
It's above the waist. You got to put his butt in there.
And O'Neal Cruz's inability to play defense. And JJ McCarthy being really, really strange.
What? I don't even know where that came from. Folks, the show has derailed. We are off the tracks.
Are you surprised?
No, not at all.
It is the show. I mean, technically the show's about baseball, but really it's just one giant promotion device for... Hello, Sasha Banks. Or Mercedes, or whatever your name is.
It is Sasha Banks.
Well, her name's Mercedes now. Well, that's her real name anyway.
It's a refractor, Ben.
You're a refractor. Damon, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What if I told you there's a show on this network that covers pro wrestling? What if I told you that, Damon?
Yeah, I would ask you when they're going to do a show again.
Russ had a bit of a family situation this week. We're still kind of trying to work that out. My hope is the next couple days here we're going to have a Two Marks episode, Two Marks and a Spark. The longest running show on this network, anyway.
It's true.
Is it the longest running show on this network? I think it is.
It's between that and NFL. No, I think NFL's longer, but...
NFL has like 3 months on us, though. It's not like anything.
No, it's not a long time, no. But...
It was NFL launched, and then Two Marks launched in January after that.
Yeah, NFL, guys, this is some news. It's going to be a one-man show this year.
I'll be there occasionally.
A one-man show with callers.
Yeah. Dude, look. I have never been less excited for a football season.
Not even last year? You seemed pretty not excited.
I was excited to see how bad it was going to get. It was actually worse than I thought it was going to be. Like, it underwhelmed me.
All right.
What's impressive to me is how many sports leagues are making just actively bad decisions and, like, seemingly acting like it's going to be fine.
Oh, in closing, Ben, what did you think of the draft, the NFL draft this past week?
ESPN's presentation of it made me want to
I'm talking about the
take
players.
a long walk off a short pair, but
Players and the teams is what I'm more concerned about.
I have no earthly idea what about 13 of those teams were doing.
What would you grade Minnesota's draft?
C+.
Okay.
Because the guy we drafted in the first round, if he's healthy, he's a beast. If he's not healthy, You just wasted a pick. But look,
who's the winners and losers of the draft?
oh, well, the winners are like the teams that traded back and got future picks. Because the whole thing with this draft isn't very good.
Here's what I'm going to tell you.
That's been the thing.
And I think you'll disagree. The loser of the draft for me was the Los Angeles Rams.
I don't agree with that because I think they did really well later.
It's all predicated on using a 13th pick to draft a guy that's not going to play for 2 years, possibly more. I just think that's when you have a top.
By the way,
when you have a top 15 pick, you're picking a player that's going to make an impact today.
The other thing, they may have drafted him because it's possible, and this has been talked about a little bit. Really, only PFT's talked about it, but there's been quiet little whispers that maybe Stafford is gonna be out of there after this year. So,
I mean, that's a thought, but still.
And the quarterback development process has just changed. So drafting a guy now and having him sit behind Stafford for a year isn't a bad idea. Now, Ty Simpson's a little bit of a project to take him at 13. But, you know, when the Vikings just took J.J. McCarthy a couple of years ago higher than that, I don't know how you can... And Ty Simpson is infinitely more physically gifted than J.J. McCarthy and seemingly has a better head on his shoulders than good old 90.
I'm just gonna, you know what? I'm gonna cut the naysayers off at the neck, and I'm gonna give you their argument. Okay. Patrick Mahomes was the 10th pick overall, and he's out a year behind Alex Smith. And look at how many Super Bowls he's won. Okay, that's your only argument? That's the only example of it?
I mean, it's worked before. Rodgers sat behind Favre. Jordan Love sat behind Rodgers.
Yeah, but we're not talking about players that were chosen in the top 15 picks, are we?
Rodgers was before the draft consensus number one. He slipped, but he was going in like consensus number one. He slipped all the way down to like 20.
24th.
Yeah.
And Brett Favre was 33. But here's the deal. Brett Favre was this close to being a Seahawk. But
Can I say something about that? I don't think Brett Favre would have lasted in Seattle. Here's why. Seattle's a little bit too liberal for old MAGA Favre.
Yeah, but do you think that was an issue back in 1992 or 94 or whenever it was? I don't really think.
For a guy like that, yeah.
I don't really think people cared about that shit.
Okay, Damon. In any sports league, which guy do you think is most likely to request a trade because of the political climate of the market he's in? You can pick. It's Harrison Butker, right?
No, because he's surrounded by his cult. He fits perfectly there.
No, but if like the mood shifted there and they like pivoted away from that,
I would say Max Crosby probably.
Yeah. I mean, Vegas is kind of moving to the right, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. But none of that should matter. You should shut the fuck up and play football. I can't imagine somebody not wanting to play for the Seahawks and winning a Super Bowl because the city is liberal. That makes no sense.
I mean, Joey Bosa doesn't want to play in liberal cities, which makes you wonder how he lasted in Buffalo. But
yeah, it's just stupid.
Remind me, I have a 49ers joke for you when we get off the air that I definitely cannot make on the air.
Why not?
You'll understand. No, just trust me. Please, I am begging. I'm not doing this on the air. Please just trust me.
Type it in chat and I'll say it.
No. I do not want this set on the air.
Hold on. Give me an inappropriate 49ers joke. Is Reddit gonna give it to me?
Did you just use Reddit's shitty AI?
Dude, I just typed in Google. I'm looking at the results. Relax. What do they call 49ers fans?
No, it's got nothing to do with Niners fans or anything like that. It's to do with their roster. You'll see when we get off there.
All right.
Also, what do you think of the Niners, a team you already hate, being very MAGA heavy? What do you think of that?
Dude, I really don't care. Like, I think it's funny because they're in a city that is very fucking liberal and probably has the most of the people that bother them the most. So it suits them. Suits me just fine that they should happen to be bigots and then they're surrounded by the people they hate the most. I love it.
It's so funny.
And it makes it even more gratifying to kick their asses twice a year, 3 times sometimes.
Look, if everybody just realized what I was saying 3 years ago, we wouldn't be here right now. That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough. All right. I'm going to close this out by giving you the winner of the draft. To me was the Raiders. I've thought about it. I looked at all their picks afterwards.
Mendoza sucks.
I don't believe that for a second. I think it's going to be hard for him in Las Vegas. But
He's a go to church and read your Bible boy playing in Las Vegas. The irony of that should not be lost.
It's Sin City. I trust coaching to keep him reeled in, and I like the picks that they made. I like the players that they already have. Brock Bowers, they have Genty, they have a lot of talented players on that. They're not bereft of talent.
And they're owned by Mark Davis.
Well, hopefully his reach is only how much he pays them or what he pays them. Beyond that, let the coaches that you hired, because you made some really good coaching decisions in the offseason, let those decisions try and mask the terrible decisions that you made the last 3 years with coaches.
Well, according to old Marky D, that was Tommy T that made those decisions. Tommy Trump.
Well, they were bad, whoever made them. So, all right.
No, I'm talking about this year, not the last 3.
Well, this is their 4th coach in 4 seasons. So, if he didn't come in that building and say, "Dude, you got to give me at least 3 years, or I'm not coming here," like guarantee me 3 years, or I'm not coming here.
I think Pete Carroll did that. How'd that work out for old Pete?
Well, I think
Love Pete Carroll, by the way.
I love Pete Carroll too, and I was really upset when they let go of him, but I see why they did now, because the game had passed him by. He's a great coach, and he'll always be one of the best player coaches in the history of the sport. The players will run through brick walls for him, but his scheme of I want to run the ball 300 times and throw it 4, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work in this league. It's a passing league. It's a scoring league. And I know it's funny that we talked about, defense wins games, and obviously Seattle's defense is a top 3 defense in the NFL. But when you counter that with Sam Darnold and the offensive player of the year, you can't say that their offense didn't do anything. Like literally, JSN is a force on that side of the ball. And as long as the Seattle's defense is a top 3 defense, you can have players like Sam Darnold sprinkled in to the offense, because the defense is going to put you in short yardage situations. They're going to get you the ball back. They're going to score. So when you have a defense doing all 3 of those things, your offense can stand to be a little bit less than, $60 million quarterback.
All right, Damon. Yeah. Taking it back to baseball before we end the show.
Sure.
Who do you think is set up to be how the hell are they here team in September right now? Because there's always one team that's there that shouldn't be, that you look at it and you're like, this doesn't make any sense.
I don't want to say the A's, because I don't think that they're going to sustain. Same with the Rangers. They're non-threat. I see 3 teams coming out of the AL East, and if one of them is Baltimore, maybe I include them in that list. But they did make the playoffs last year, did they not?
No, they did not. The
year before last year. No, last year they sucked. The year before that, they did make the playoffs. So to see them back there, I might be like, okay. But honestly, the Pittsburgh Pirates is the team that I would give you the answer right now. They're 3rd in their division right now, but it's within a game. I mean, they just keep going like this, the teams. And if they sustain and they actually make the playoffs, I will be like, how the hell did you do that? How the hell did you do that? That's
the team I would be most surprised if they sustain the way they're playing right now is Cincinnati. I think they could be a playoff team because they were last year. But they made the playoffs with like 83 wins. Let's not act like they were, lighting the world on fire. If they sustain the way they're playing, they'll be the how the hell did you do that team.
Fair enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are just under an hour and a half, and kind of hungry. So, James Marves for Ben Shrewsbury. This is the show, your Major League Baseball therapy.
And sometimes other stuff.
A session. All right. Ben, we'll see you on Thursday for Shrewsworthy. Oh, my God. Guys, I'm just end the show on the Graveyard Graphic just because I love it. I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Fuck the Twins, by the way.